Bruh. Hello, all you skeptics out there. I'm gonna be talking about Jennifer's Body. The movie that got overlooked, said it was bad because they marketed like complete garbage. When I realized how they marketed this movie, they're actually morons. Morons. Like, they had tried to make this over-sexualized. They took movie tips from horny men. Really? This movie isn't even like super sexual. Besides the sex. It's not super sexual. Trust me, I promise. I know they have sex. I know. But just trust me. But no. Jennifer's Body is about it's about these two girls. One's named Jennifer, and another is named Needy, for short, a nickname for Anita. And there you go. It's Jennifer's the typical pretty girl, and you know, and then Anita's the typical like, oh, glasses friend that's like, oh, I'm nerdy and like I don't even know how I'm friends with you. But it's kind of, they go to this concert and like everything goes kind of astray when it kind of burns down randomly. And if you watch it, you'll understand I'm sorry, this scene was so I swear the directors were like, we don't know how to transition to the next scene. What do we do? Burn it down. Honestly, I promise you that's how it feels like. Burn it to the ground. Burn it to the ground. But no, like really, that's literally how that scene turned. But eventually, like, things happen that I don't want to spoil. And like, she comes back, but Jennifer's not the same after going on a trip with the bandmates in their dark, depressing band after a fire, you know? The logical thing would be just to go home, maybe go to the hospital, the police. No, she just wants to have fun and go in the van. So Needy, which is the character we'll be following. Notice something strange about Jennifer, where she was like covered in blood one day when she came to her house randomly, and it's like Jennifer acts like nothing is wrong, but in reality, Jennifer has gotten this taste for human blood, or like human flesh, cannibalistic kind of, more vampiric, zombie-ic, I don't even know, demonic, that's the one. And she starts being like luring men to eat them. And I'm not gonna lie, some of these men are dumb as fuck. Oh my gosh. If I'm a guy and I'm going on a date with a girl, if I, as a guy, was going on a date with a girl and she gave me an address to this abandoned house in an undeveloped street at like 10 o'clock at night or whatever, you think I'm fucking going like, yay, bye. I understand some men are actually stupid as fuck because they think with their peepees, but I'm sorry, some of them like are really dumb. Not all of them, just one in particular. You'll know what I mean. Like, come on, like really? What happened to like normal common sense? Like, do you go into an alley in midnight, like, oh, if it's like, oh, come here, little boy, come play with me? No, I mean, like, eat, run. That's definitely easier. Definitely don't want to end up dead, which is what happens. But basically, it's the whole movie is she's trying to, I don't even know what the movie, it's all over the place, this movie, which is probably why it wasn't well received at first. Well, one, it was advertised to the wrong audience, but this movie, it is all over the place. Also, the jokes, oh my gosh, one joke was funny and a half, maybe like 1.5. I actually laughed a lot for like 1.5. The rest were so bad. Oh my gosh, it was so inappropriate. It's like, okay, they're mildly funny, I guess. Like, this movie is mildly funny overall, but not really anything notable. But like, I feel like it could have been better as a horror movie. Keep the 2 jokes that I thought were funny and then just cut out the rest because but either way, I think that this movie, the characters were really good. I can't even say that with a straight face. No, I'm serious. I promise. I promise that some of them were really good, some were not. Oh my gosh. But I actually just don't understand the low. I mean, I don't know. I understand the low ratings because the advertisers were just Fox 30, I think it was. Complete idiots. Even the producer of the movie was like, I can't believe they did this. But like, they had great shots. Like the shot of Jennifer swimming in the lake, really, it was literally a beautiful shot. Like, it's kind of surprising. And like, for how soon this movie is, or like all over the place, there were some scenes and I was like, wait a minute, am I almost crying? What? How? This movie is dumb as I'm almost crying? So maybe it isn't as dumb as I think it is. But like, this movie is just so hard to judge because it has so many messages. It's too many messages. They need to cut out like half their messages because they tried to make, oh, here we go, we're gonna have some women empowerment, or we're gonna have some things about like, sex, or things about like, maybe we're gonna throw in some LGBT pandering, but literally, I had watched the Brandon Urie's Panic at the Disco's song from this movie, New Perspective, and I really liked it, but it really shows like, I'm not even gonna show that the scene for LGBT or gay, and it was like kind of pandering a little bit. It was literally, you could cut it out, and I think that it wouldn't have changed the movie that much. I say that, but damn, I forget that they tried to make one of the messages that maybe she loved her, but at the same time they didn't pursue it at all, and they kept showing how much she loved the guys, Jennifer, so it didn't even make sense. Like, they tried to show many themes. It's like too many themes, and then it's like, oh, women empowerment, but then she gets her powers from men, and it's like, you played yourself, bitch. Got him. But I don't know. It's really hard to judge this movie, and I really think that it has some good themes. Notably, I loved Needy's boyfriend. Actually, it's one of the first movies that I feel like the boyfriend isn't like, oh, this man whore, like in usual teen flicks where it's like, oh, you're you're making the jock fall in love with like the nerdy girl. This guy's actually lovable. Like, this is like my favorite character. Like, you can't not like him, besides Needy, but like, you can't not like her boyfriend. Like, he's such a good guy, and he's like so nice. It's like kind of like relationship goals, which is kind of surprising because usually movies don't do that. So I'm glad that it portrays a good, loving relationship, and it's like, even though they do have like sex, it's not like sexual at all. I know it sounds stupid, but just trust me. It's just like loving. It's like intimate. It's like love making instead of like sex. But either way, I'm gonna have to give this one I don't usually give percentages, but this one really is. I find it surprising that it's kind of low in Rotten Tomatoes and others. I think it needs to be readjusted to double a score. Around like 67% is what I would give it. But either way, I'll see you in the next one. Toodaloo.